Most people in life are looking for how do I make a life worth living and retirement worth having. In order for me to make a next life, I have to sometimes borrow a little technology, or I have to sometimes decide that I'm going to give my loyalty to the companies that actually sell to me. You see, there's different perspectives about life. And when I tell you something about life, it's my perspective. It's not necessarily your perspective. My perspective comes about from actual factual experience. My perspective comes about from actual research. My perspective comes about from a history of experiences. Your perspective may be different. Your perspective may be based on emotions, feelings, intellect, analysis. Who knows if I don't have a chance to talk with you? The reality is that a reporter's mind is always asking questions, but an analytical mind is always assessing situations. What I'm always looking for is, why do people make things so complicated? It's not complicated. Life is sometimes complicated, but usually life gets really complicated when some other person monkeys into God's plan for a human being's life. The best thing you can do in your mind is to stop listening, is what you think. If I stop listening, then I'll stop feeling, then I'll stop thinking, then I'll stop worrying, then I'll stop... No. What you've done is you've had a bad decision. Great. You've made a bad decision. Tomorrow's a new day. Can you make a better decision tomorrow? Can you build back better, to take on our new president's motto? The question is, do you know how to build your life to a better situation? Or have you aligned your life with the wrong partner? Have you aligned your life in a way that God has been kind of smashing and bashing you through the spirit world, and you're trying to figure out how to make it stop, but what you realize is maybe you don't want to make it stop. Maybe you like being in trouble with God. Maybe you like being a naughty girl. Maybe you like being a difficult man. But here's the deal. Sometimes in life is easier when you stop fighting the rules of life. You see, the rules of life is a golden rule. He who makes the rules, or he who has the gold, makes the rules. You see, it's either the rule maker or the gold taker and the gold holder who makes the rules of life. And if you don't like those rules, well, yes, you can go over to another corporation, another organization, and try to find some new rules. But generally speaking, most educational institutions and most professional networks and most business opportunities have very, 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 very similar rules. If you perform well, then usually you benefit. If you don't perform well, then maybe you don't get it and you monkeyed it. It's not hard to provide an apology. It's not hard to receive one. It only depends on the person's intent. If your intent is to apologize so that you can then continue playing on someone's life, then you've deceived yourself. If you provide an apology that's sincere and really about repairing things, then God and Jesus, or whatever you believe in terms of a divine architect or Lord Odin, actually is pleased. It's not really rocket science, it's common sense. Everyone knows what a player is. Everyone knows what a liar is. The only difference is, are you savvy enough, disciplined enough, and discerning enough to detect the lies? Most liars slip. And I'll just say that from watching hundreds of hours of film when I was sort of young and not very socially adept, and openly from my experiences in life, that players of games on other people's lives almost always slip with information that they shouldn't have. And they play it out because they want the power of it. But they destroy themselves with God because they lied to take it, and they're trying to break things in other people.